Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Into the Red Rabbit Hole. I'm your host, Nighthawk, and I'll be bringing my brother from the deep south, Dennis Carroll, on here in a few moments. But I just want to go over a few things before we start our podcast, like I always have to do for all the critics and the censorship out there. Warning: federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, and exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, and video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This is called the Fair Use Act and is allowed for purposes of criticism, which we do. Okay, we do criticize. Okay, news reporting, which we do a little bit of news reporting, teaching, which we always do, and parody, which sometimes we do because I'm just kind of that kind of person. So, which doesn't infringe on the copyright holder under Section 17 USC subsection 107 of the Fair Use Act. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And let me read something else here that I don't even know why I have to really read this, but I do. I do. All right. Let's see here. I'll use my deep voice. This series presents information based in part on theory and conjecture. The producer's purpose is to suggest a possible explanation, but not necessarily the only ones, to the mysteries we will examine. Okay. I hope you all are hearing me right. If you are, give me a big thumbs up in the old chat room so I know you're all hearing me. And I will get into taking that off so you can see my bright, shiny face. Well, you know what? I don't think you want to see my bright, shiny face. Pop something else up. I'm going to pop up. Yes. 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 Just like the wrestler, Daniel Bryan. Thank you, Stephen. Yes. I guess you can tell by the picture on the screen that we are talking the Matrix theory tonight. And I decided to go ahead and air this on YouTube tonight and a couple other channels that I wasn't going to air on because of the subject matter. But you know what? We do parody, we do criticism, we do news reporting, and we refer on teaching people, about certain things and certain issues. And that's why we are here broadcasting. Okay. So bear with me as I read this out. And do you ever look around you in the world and think that there's something missing? Something's just not quite right. I think we've all had that feeling at one point in time or another. What about the theory of living in the Matrix? That could be a possible theory. That could be a probable reason for us feeling that way. So let's talk. How about we start this conversation off with a young lady by the name of Erin Valente. I'm sure those of you that know about the Matrix have heard of her. Back in the October of 2019, Erin, who was kind of a techie type of a girl, very, very into technology and all that, was getting ready to go to a conference, okay, in California, in the tech capital of California, okay. On her way to the tech conference, she spoke out against the game of the Matrix, only to be never seen alive again. October 7th, 2019. Erin called her mother on the phone and told her mother that it's all a game. All of it. All in thought experiment. It's all a thought experiment, she says, over and over again. Later that night, missing her flight, she was found dead several days later. They never determined the cause of why she was found dead. Do we remain blissfully ignorant? Do you continue to follow the sheep, the red pill or the blue pill? Mankind will lose control over the AI, and the AI will control the matrix. Mark my words. Okay. This is not a theory. Well, this is a theory on my part. Um, I've always been a firm believer that AI is going to hold the doom for mankind, and I'm a firm believer of that. Okay. And I think several people out there would agree with me that AI is definitely going to be the downfall of mankind. And something tells me that AI will just continue to make the matrix grow, and we're going to have a choice, okay, between the red pill and the blue pill, okay, which ironically, the blue pill nowadays is Cymbalta. Has anybody ever thought about that? Cymbalta is a blue pill. Wonder what the red pill is. I bet you I know. Anyways, do we really want to keep continuing ignoring some of the signs that we're seeing on a daily basis that the matrix could possibly be real? Okay. We're all merely receiving electrical impulses to stimulate our sight, our smell, our taste, our hearing, everything. What if the matrix machine was merely an energy vampire? There's an aspect we never even covered, and I'm sure Dennis would love to discuss that. Since we are all made of energy, why wouldn't that make sense that it would be the matrix would be some type of an energy vampire? Okay. Living within a matrix of the digital world and the real world. A certain percentage of us people reject the matrix as the digital form. Okay. And we are placed within what the matrix calls the real world instead of the world part of the matrix. So I'm going to bring Dennis on. That's my opening statement. There is more to the theory than just theory and conjecture that people and have proven time and time again that there is something going on in the matrix theory. Okay, we've all seen a weird thing. I'm to this. We've all strange, what we call strange phenomena. Okay, we've all seen the glitches in the matrix, and we've all seen the video and the pictures of the three moons or the two suns or just different things. Vehicles glitching out of sight, just out of nowhere and coming into sight out of nowhere. It is just very, very strange the way our world is set up, and we're gonna examine that a little bit tonight. We're gonna discuss it. We're gonna see what everybody's thoughts on everybody. Let me bring the picture down so we can see Dennis's bright, shiny face and say hello to Dennis, everybody. Hello, Dennis.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, brother. I have a mystery object to
Good
show
evening.
everyone tonight. I have a mystery object. Here it is. This is a mystery object. And I'm going to tell later on in the program what this thing really is, but I won't see if anybody can guess it, okay? And this is the mystery. I'll show it again.
Yeah. It's a crank key.
On. Yeah. It's what? It's the key to the matrix.
I thought it was a crank key, but I could be wrong.
It is a key. It is a key. Anyway, I was trying to find that out, but this
what
was
do you
laying
think
on
about
the desk here, and I thought I would throw that in. Here's something to blow your mind, okay? What if, and that's a favorite question of mine. What if the world around us, our very existence, is just a matrix, and we're each one of us lying in some kind of a tube somewhere, and some race of beings is running this whole show.
Yeah.
And they're feeding off of the impulses that we're reacting to, these electrical impulses in our head that make up the true matrix. What if they are living off of these impulses, feeding off of us, and we are just food for them inside this matrix? That's an interesting question.
Yeah, and that goes back to what I was saying too in the beginning, with my opening statement, was concerning the whole. What if it's an energy type of a vampire status? Because we are typically just electrical impulses. We are energy, and our whole makeup is energy. Okay, what if, per se, energy vampires had us in a stasis where we were, like you said, and draining our electrical impulses?
Well, we are beings of energy. No matter what people believe, we are actually beings of energy. And we're made up of different types of energy. We have a spiritual energy. We have a life force energy, or a soul energy, whatever name you want to give it. We have an electrical energy about us. We have an electricity in us. You can find that out on a cold day with a static electricity on a carpet. So we have different types of energy that make us. We would be a perfect feeding ground for some type of, as you said, energy vampire type beings to feed off of, because they have a smorgasbord of energy to choose from. And on top of that, if we're living in a matrix and we're reacting to these things that are not real, we're using up electrical impulses. We're using electrical impulses, and they are basically using those impulses to feed off of. I mean, we're reacting to something that's not really there. It's not really here at all, but it's a matrix of electrical electrons, you might say, that we're dealing with. And it's just like, very much like you see when you cook a soup, okay? You put beef in it, you put some corn, you put some potatoes and onions and all that. Each component makes that soup what it is, okay? And that is with us. Each one of the types of our energies make this soup. So what if they're feeding off of us like we would feed off of soup, you know? I'm getting some kind of feedback here. I don't know. Do you hear that? Do you hear any kind of feedback? I've lost your sound completely. I've lost you completely. I've lost your sound completely, William. I don't hear you at all. Okay. I think I'm still putting out sound. I don't know. Can you hear me, William? Shake your head. Yes. Can you hear me? I cannot hear you at all. You're completely. Your sound's completely off. You're right, Stephen. I'll answer your question on that, Stephen. Yeah, an energy vampires, that name you want to give them that, they would feed off of something like that, and it would also feed off of the impulses of fear or happiness or gratification or whatever we're putting out. They would feed off of that. There are certain supernatural creatures that feed off of fear. The demons are a perfect example of that. They feed off a negative energy that's being put forth, uh, and the demonic feeds off of that, and it makes them stronger. And the more they get to eat, I don't hear you, Will. Can't hear you at all.
Okay.
Hold on, I thought I heard you there for a minute. What did you do? Uh, let you go back, go out and come back in and see if that'll solve the problem. Okay. Anyway, what I was going to say about it, that's the way the demonic works. That I know without a doubt. I've seen that happen. The more negativity they feed off of, the stronger they become. Just like when you eat your Wheaties in the morning, you're able to face the day. You have that energy to burn. We have to have energy for our bodies. Our bodies are energy, therefore they feed off of energy. And if you feed off of negative energy, you're definitely going to have some bad after negative effects. But if you feed off of positive energy, you will usually have a positive reaction to that. That's just the way that works. That's a law of the universe, you might say. Are you with us yet, William? I still, we still can't hear you. You're still out. I don't know. I don't know. It's still. Try you put your headphones back on and see if that will do anything for you there. Could have something to do with the headphones. I don't know. Have you got a mic on that headphone? Or does that headphone have a mic? Uh, let's see what our technical difficulties. They don't. The guys that's running the Matrix do not want us talking about the Matrix tonight. Evidently, that's what's going on. Um, let's see. Anyway, okay. The negative and positive outputs are a scientifically deduced thing. You can see it in science, not just with your own eyes, the world around you. The positive and negative things of the universe. Um, and that's part of what we are. We are the makeup. We are part of the energy that makes this universe what it is. And the universe is based on energy itself. Good and positive, good and negative go that way. They're opposites of each other, but they are both parts of the universe. Einstein said that no energy ever truly goes away. It exists forever in some form or another, whatever that form may be. And I've often said that when you die, your energy that leaves your shell, the body that you inhabited, still goes on somewhere forever. That is the spirit. That's part of your soul. That's what makes you a living soul. Um, that goes on forever in some form of energy out there. Um, that's, I think, without a doubt, I have seen cases with that in my paranormal career over the years, that I have seen evidence of that, hard evidence, that does exist in that manner. So energy is a big makeup of this universe. It is what makes everything go around. In other words, it is the fabric of our existence in many ways. So it would be not that far fetched that some type of a race of creatures could feed off of that energy, that life essence that we put forth. I've often said that the vampire itself, the classical vampire, although it sucks the blood of the living, it's also taking the life of that person. The blood is the life. So that is a form of energy there in itself. You know? Is that right, William? I thought I heard you say something.
Can you hear me now?
I hear you fine.
You better hear me.
Oh, I'm getting in trouble
you
here.
Better hear me. I'm gonna be putting out. I'm putting out an SOS to everybody. I need new equipment.
There's something all the time. You know what? The more we use our equipment, of course, the more it gets used up, and it gets older, and it starts to fail us like our bodies. But anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I was saying,
I want to say thank you to everybody for being here tonight. I see the chat is really going good. So I really appreciate everybody being there. Jim Grimm, Steven, Ozzy Sue, Aaron, everybody. I really appreciate all being there. Darcy, Ellen.
Taking another ride off the rails tonight. I even have a mystery object. I have a mystery object.
We're doing something a little. We just want to do a little different tonight and just kind of relax and talk about the matrix theory. And like I was saying earlier, those of you that could hear me, I was talking about the matrix could possibly be some type of an AI that has taken over, has simulated everybody into those little cocoons or whatever you want to call it, the little test tubes or whatever you want to call it. And it is actually the AI has turned into an energy vampire.
Here's another theory we can look at too. What if God is AI? Okay, what if God, the creator, is a form of AI that's so far above us we wouldn't really know what it is. Okay, it's so far advanced, but it is what we could say equated with a form of AI. Okay, what if the creator is that way and he has put us in a simulation like a test to weed out the best ones or something? You know what I'm saying? That's another theory.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about the AI lately being something that some people have taken to the point where they take into the side that the AI could be the devil. Some people have the theory, like you just said, where AI could be the creator, could be God. And that the whole thing about us being, able to bleed and being flesh and bone and can hurt and feel pain, is the fact that we rejected the digital AI life, and the creator or the AI made this flesh and bone avatar for us to use, because we didn't want to do the digital. So either way, we are stuck in part of the matrix, and that's why we see glitches every now and then in digital form coming through to this form of the AI, as far as the matrix goes.
And William, it could be once in a while we're getting a glimpse of those glitches that we've talked about before. We're given a glimpse of those for a reason, to kind of say, let's see what they're going to do if they see this, you know, or
Yep,
what's going to be
exactly.
their reaction if we let them take a little peek at what the real thing
Yep.
is. So that's another thing, it's kind of like a test. Like you had a test in school, the teacher wants to see how well you're going along with it, or if you're listening or paying
Yep.
attention.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
And if I were running a matrix, I would do that every once in a while, just to make sure you were really paying attention. Just to kind of get
Yeah.
your attention and see if you were really at it. Or you were just going along, not even bothering to look or pay attention to anything. You're not a cohesive being if you can't do that. If you need to see the environment around
Here's
you,
a
the things
perfect.
that are going on.
Yeah. Yep. Here's a perfect example of a glitch. Perfect example of a glitch. Look at the jet stream. Okay. This photograph was taken ironically by me.
There's no such thing as a square control. That's pretty square looking
Exactly.
there, yeah.
It's exactly square looking. And this photograph was taken by me personally outside our house last summer. So,
It's
got to tell you,
it's possible, William, and we got to say this. It's possible that winds can shear a contrail, but not bend it like that. It would not bend like that.
They're not going to.
It would drift. Yeah.
That's a 90 degree. That's a 90 degree.
That's weird.
That's no way. Is that no way? I don't get. You could have a meteorologist tell me thing is legitimate. It's normal, and I'm going to tell you that meteorologist is off his rocker. So you know what I'm saying. It's ridiculous to think that is, because that's not normal. That really isn't. No trick. That's no trick camera that was taken right from my cell phone. So,
you can vouch for that.
It really is no trick to it. Yeah. So, and then you got stuff like this going on, which this is a pretty well-known photograph of somebody holding an iPhone before iPhones were even brought into existence. Yeah. I mean, that's just it's insane to think that we don't have some part of a matrix going on. It has to be in some way, shape, or form part of the matrix. It's got on. Everything is digital. Everything is energy. Everything comes down to energy, and and the whole gambit of trying to figure out just why we are here and what made us and what we are made of, like the 0001s, it's impossible to think
that another interesting question, William. Does the matrix reset every once in a while? If it's some type of a digital thing going on, does it reset? We do know that computers do that.
Yeah.
Certain technical things that we have, the technology we have, can reset sometimes. Even I've had my phone reset. I don't know if you have. You probably have. Have your phone reset for no reason. I've had that happen several times.
Yep.
Just recently I had that happen.
Exactly.
You have to ask, does the matrix reset?
Exactly. And this is a question. Yeah. Yeah. This is a question that some people have too. Was 2020 a simulation? Was 2020 simulation just what our reactions would have been with certain things that would pop
here's
up?
another thing. William. if you can control the matrix, you could also control timelines.
Yeah.
You could run different
Yeah, it's
different
true.
simulations in different timelines. Think about that a minute. That's mind-boggling. In other words, what if in 2020 Trump won the White House? You know?
Yeah.
See, it will be a different timeline. Things will be turning out
Yeah.
differently. Yeah, we're in another simulation that's a different timeline from that. So, you got a lot of questions when it comes to the Matrix. Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, we do. And you know me, I question everything. I really do. I try to get to the bottom, the nitty-gritty of everything too, and try to figure out just what is going on, you know. Let's see what some of the guys in the chat have to say. Let's
I believe
see.
spiritual beings
Oh,
have
we're
a
writing
physical
books.
existence. What if our true values are light energy? Well, that may be very true, Stephen. As Einstein theorized, no energy ever dies. It only takes on some form or another. If God creates us, and the Bible has some interesting things to say about that, by the way. It says, God, I think it was, he told John the Baptist, I think it was, I knew you before you were formed in your mother's womb. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Think about that just a minute. That's mind boggling. So we are existent beings before we are ever born. God knows us. So we
Exactly.
already exist
Exactly.
in some form or another. Think about that now.
Exactly.
Our existence, listen to this, does not begin with life, physical
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
And that's
Exactly.
what I didn't make
Exactly.
that up. That's in the Bible. Okay.
Yep. Yep. Exactly. You know, and that's the whole theory that I'm going with right now. With the whole Matrix thing that the creator has whether the creator is AI like you suggested, which really could make sense. Um, if you're gonna have something that knows you before you're born in this existence, you know, you would be talking about something along the lines as a motherboard, a something that would have created you and nurtured you and brought you forth into this world or the digital one, that we're seeing periodically, you know.
And
And then
William,
when we
we could be
leave this
talking.
body, we go to the
We
digital. So,
we could be talking about, as I said earlier, the God Matrix type thing, the God AI.
mhm.
Would be so far advanced. It would be like, well, that would be the power of God. In other words, it would be
Right,
so far advanced of anything we could even think of. We couldn't even wrap our minds around it. You understand? And
right. Yeah,
that could
exactly.
possibly be what we're talking about here.
Yep.
That far advanced from us. It's a
Yeah.
theoretical question. It's a theoretical question, but it's interesting to think about.
Hmm.
There are forms of, if you want to call it AI, it may not be an AI that we know, that we realize, artificial intelligence. It may be an intelligence, but it's just so far advanced that, we can't wrap our minds around it uh, in that
Exactly.
respect.
Sorry, I got to type while I'm talking. I can't do that. But let's see. I just the whole stuff, we see things going on, like take for example, I know everybody's seen this on YouTube or whatnot, whatever we all it's the bird that is stuck in flight with it's just completely still hanging in the air. Okay.
Mhm.
And it's a real bird. Okay. It's not a trick, it's a glitch. It has to be a glitch in the matrix. There's no and ifs or buts about it. Okay. But what caused that glitch? And does that matrix exist in the whole realm that we're in, or is it just a certain portion of it? And here's another thing too to consider. Is the glitch in the matrix theory something that our government has been dealing us with for the past, say since the 1930s, 1920s? Is it something that our governments have to, to keep us under some kind of like a holographic imaging system? And the reason the glitches happen in the sky more than on the ground are because they're controlling it.
Here's the thing about that. It wouldn't be their science. It would be somebody else's science. It wouldn't be our science. But they could know about it. You understand what I'm saying? They could know about it, and they may have contacted the people that are behind it. And they are going along with this wool being pulled over our eyes kind of a thing, They may be going along with that. So the government may be privy to that and may be sort of in bed with these guys, too, keeping it going.
Mm-hmm.
That's another possibility you have to look at, Are we being sold out? Kind of a thing. And it wouldn't surprise me if we weren't.
And I mean, this is all just theory and conjecture right now. And,
oh yeah,
as far as complete proof and undisputed proof, I mean, we could all come up with pictures that we even the one that I have. But how do we explain it? I mean, I can't explain why that jet stream reacted the way it did. Did it hit something and just drop? I mean, there's no reason for that to happen.
If it dropped,
there really is
if it
no
dropped
reason.
like that, you would have heard about a crash or something somewhere. I mean, that was the only way to explain something like that is that what you're seeing is not real. It's not part of the reality that you're supposed to be in. In other words,
exactly.
That's why we call it a glitch. That's why we call it a glitch. It's a little peek at what's really behind the scenes. Kind of reminds me of that scene in Wizard of Oz. Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain. He's doing the stuff and he doesn't want you to know what it is. That's kind of like, makes me wonder if that's not what's going on with this kind of a thing, because, and like you said earlier, it's just theory and conjecture. And I'm not going to get into theology on this either, but you have to wonder who is pulling the strings.
Yeah, I mean,
what's going on. Yeah.
We heard we hear that some of the esters out there, and some of them are really really on the subject. By the way, so I'm merely small time, but we hear so much about how people see things, like if they look at the moon or the sun through like a domed cover with a video camera, they can see people in
angelic
the moon.
Beings.
People,
see angelic beings.
Yeah, and it's are they the ones that are in control?
Well, and another thing, William, if you talk about seeing angels and stuff like that, you'd have to see what about Dogman and Sasquatch and some of these other cryptids that people are seeing. Is that real? Is that something that's part of the Matrix? They want us to see that.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to start questioning.
Exactly.
You have your reality and how it relates to that. That's the scary thing about it. Are you in the real reality, or are you in someone else's reality? That's the weird, that's the mind-boggling thing about it. But here's what I said this, and I've heard people say, "Oh, the moon is a holograph," and all that. If it is, it's not ours. We don't have that technology. I do not believe that without a doubt. We do not have that science to do that. Okay, it's somebody else's. Who is it? You know, that's what you'd have to wonder about. And if the government, okay, let's say the government sent men to the moon and found out there is no moon there. There's a hologram. You know, they would then know the secret of the Matrix. You know, that's why I say if they're privy to it, they're not letting us in on it. We're still fooling us.
Right.
That wouldn't surprise me at all either. Really, you know, no one thinks I know.
Yeah, I just don't, I don't understand how something can control that type of, I mean, that even if it is AI, the amount of technology that we would be talking about, Dennis, is just staggering. It's literally staggering. I mean, how do you account for all of this going on? I mean,
well, that's what I said earlier.
No matter how
William,
big of a paradise you live in, or how small.
Our AI could not do this. Our AI cannot do this. Okay, it's got to be somebody else's. It's definitely not ours, because ours is not up to that par of doing something on that grand of a scale. That way, you know, AI is just now coming into its own. Really, it's not even got out of its infancy yet. Really, our AI.
Right. Well, here's a question too. Here's a question.
It's got to be something else.
Yeah. Yeah, here's a question for everybody too out there in the chat, and for you, Dennis, and for myself, that for that matter too. What about the Mandela effect? Is the Mandela effect a ripple effect from the AI taking over and doing the Matrix and shifting from one type of Matrix to another? You know what I'm saying?
Or
almost like going,
or the Matrix.
Yeah.
The Matrix is transcending timelines. If you had a Matrix, you listen to this, William. If you got a true Matrix, we're talking about here, it's gonna have to figure in the timelines of different universes, okay? Because you're not just gonna be stuck on one way road there. You're gonna have to go both ways on this, or many different ways. So there's got to be something in the equation about the different time sequences, and what you see with the Mandela effect could possibly be those glitches when it's going from one timeline to another or something, or switching that way. You know what I'm saying? It could be when it switches here, there's a little glitch on account of it when it switches. Listen to this. Everything I've ever seen, you can switch channels on TV, and there's a little glitch there. Think about it. There's a little glitch going on there. Every time you do something like that, or you turn a light bulb on, there's a glitch. Whatever you do something involving electrons, you got that. You know? And that could be what you see with the Mandela effect.
Yeah, to me, it's just there's too many weird things going on simultaneously that are basically almost feeling like we are being tested to a point, almost like we have, like we're trying to prove ourselves to whatever the ultimate beings or being is, whether it's AI or the creator, or angels or fallen angels, whoever it is in charge of the Matrix. It's getting to the point where it's literally staggering on the amount of things that we see on a daily basis that we can account for the Matrix theory.
Well, what you have to ask you another important question when you do a conjecture on this kind of a scale. What is real reality? What is the real reality? Is it what we see around us, or is it something else? Are we being, whether it's being a supreme being doing it, or something else,
Hmm.
whatever the situation is, what reality are we in right now? Is this not the real thing? What is the real thing? You know,
All right.
you have to wonder about
And
that too.
yeah, I think when we talked before a little bit about this whole mysterious world stuff, you and I were talking before. Probably this must be well over 6 months ago. Um,
Mhm.
I told you about the fact when I had the emergency, they had knocked me out with this very, very powerful narcotic, and they gave me the shot, and it knocked me out so they could put me in a CT scan because I was in so much pain. And anyways, make a long story short, when they gave me the shot to bring me out of it, it was literally like a computer rebooting. It was literally like opening up, a folded piece of paper, like graphic paper, it's folded up, and it's just literally folded open and open and open,
Step by
and
step.
soon you get
Yeah.
your ability to speak. Soon you get your ability to see, and it's just, it was like rebooting, which kind of freaked me out a little bit because you always think in the back of your mind you're hearing about the Matrix theory your whole life, basically, growing up and stuff,
Here's
and
an
how
interesting. Here's an interesting observation. I have been paralyzed. Okay, I had a back operation and I had a spinal shot. And I was paralyzed from the neck down for a while. And when I woke up and feeling, I understand what you're talking about, the step by step, the unfolding. When I began to get the feeling back in my body, it's a weird feeling, by the way. I know what you're talking about. It's a very strange
it is.
feeling. Yeah, it is
Mm-hmm.
very weird. It's hard to describe. But as I began to get the feeling back, my legs began to jerk. I mean jerk. And I looked at the nurse, and the nurse said, "Don't worry about that. You're just move your legs and your muscles are moving, but your mind is not connected to them right now." In other words, I was
Yeah.
disconnected from my muscles, though I didn't know that they were out trying to move. You know what I'm saying? It's weird.
Yep.
It's kind of hard to explain, but you know what I'm talking about. And
Oh, I know exactly.
yeah, I agree with what you say. It's a very weird, and you feel like you're in between realities.
Yep. Exactly. You feel like you're coming back up, and it's like the other day when I told you, everybody that that talks to me in Messenger and all that, about me having that rough 2.5 days or so, where I literally, my whole left side shut down. I couldn't move my leg or my left arm. I couldn't hardly talk. It was like it was like a slideshow trying to, and when my brain was trying to get past whatever the mass is doing on my brain stem, it was
Trying to
almost,
reroute.
yeah, it was almost like it had to reroute itself to another nerve, and it took time to do it. Okay. And then once it found, hey, I got a connection here, it showed me like images, like slideshows, images of things that I saw prior to me having that attack. You see what I'm saying?
Catalog in your
It was
mind.
like it was
It's like
like
a catalog.
it was like my sight was trying to catch up to what my mind knew.
But you know,
I don't
William,
know if that makes sense. If that
here,
makes
here's
sense to anybody, then let me know.
here's the interesting thing about that, William. You know, everything we're looking at right now is upside down.
Right.
It's going through our eyes upside down. Our brain turns it around. Is that not
Right.
another form of reality? Think about it. Isn't that kind of
Yeah.
reality? Your brain screwing with reality here. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I sent you a picture of
Yep.
the guy at the South Pole. Remember that? He's holding on to the pole. He's about to fall off of it. Okay, because he's upside down on the world. What if you got down there and found out that was what it was really like. You found out there's another reality to what you thought it was, and it is a startling thing when you find out that you're bypassing a reality like that. There's that saying too that when you die, that your life passes before your eyes. You start seeing these images. It really does do that. That you begin to see these images
Right.
and it's like your brain is what resetting. What else could you say? It's like a reset of the mind.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I just, there's so many strange things that can happen, and I just don't understand a lot of it when I was very ill with the cancer and stuff, and some of the treatments that they did to me. It was like my brain had to constantly catch up, the rest of the body to catch up to what my brain was wanting to do, and it feeling like a computer, like when you reboot a computer, the same exact thing, you know, it's the same exact thing. So I don't know. It just seemed awful matrixy to me. So is that even a word, matrixy?
And you
I
know
don't know if
what?
that's even a word.
You have to wonder, William, how much of reality is in your mind. It's perceived in your mind, but as opposed to what is not there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we talked about that before. Imagination, creating things, or our thought processes are creating things. Could not our minds be creating reality to a certain extent around us, and we don't know it?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's another kind of a matrix.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Wow. I can't believe we're into this already an hour. Wow. Man. Time flies. It's the Matrix, baby. We don't know. We don't know. But yeah, I just, I just thought a lot about that this week too, especially with what happened to me, recently. And the whole theory of us being energy and being stuck in the matrix, you know, and if that matrix was using us like for batteries, like, like we're a Duracell battery, being being drained at the same time we're being stimulated to make energy. So
that's what I was saying
just
when you were off the air there for a little bit. I was talking about the demonic to a certain extent. The demonic feeds off of negative energy. Think about this a minute now. We're talking about energy that's negative. It feeds off of that. It makes itself stronger. I've seen that with my own eyes. Okay, I've seen that happen. Okay, we know that's fact that we are putting off some energy here, whether it's positive energy, negative energy, energy caused by fear or an anxiety or happiness.
Right.
Could not something be feeding off of that? Like I said, we would be a smorgasbord of energy that in that respect. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, and just think
diamond.
about just think about the number of people that they're getting that energy off of that are in the flesh and bone status of the matrix,
And here's another thing, William. In order to have a matrix, you would have to have a vast amount of what? Energy to maintain that matrix.
True. Very true. I don't think there's some big solar panel sitting up there, sucking all the energy from the sun. I think they're sucking the energy from us. So, and that's, that's just the theory. That's the theory of the matrix, everybody. Anyways, one thing that I noticed too, not getting out of the matrix theory, but this is possibly even part of the matrix theory. Okay. Tracy and I were very, very involved in watching this missing child in Florida. Okay. And he was missing. And as soon, of course, the community came out in droves and just supported the family. I can't tell you how nice it was to see people support other people, you know. And anyways, the whole thing is, they kept on searching and stuff, and all of a sudden, in comes this fog. And this fog is so thick on the ground and in the air that the helicopters that they were using to help with the search couldn't get up in the air. You know, now you hear so many times on so many missing persons cases about the weird weather coming in. Inclement weather, whether it's heavy snow, whether it's heavy winds, whether it's, extreme cold, fog. You hear about it all the time. Now that could possibly be a matrix glitch too, though, don't you think? Or do you think that that's the matrix controlling it?
What you're saying is there could be an intelligence behind that, or sort of a smokescreen type thing. That's a possibility. Yeah. And we've talked about the interesting patterns of vortexes and portals and stuff that are associated with weird weather stuff as that. And the portals would be directly tied into something like a matrix. You know that it would have to be. You got to look at that aspect.
Well, I mean, if you think about a portal and a wormhole, a wormhole and a portal could be like a copper wire going from one part of the matrix to another. I mean, it really could. I mean, the amount of
you're transcending time and space, but you're doing it through a matrix.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's really something to think about when you. Man, I didn't think we'd get this deep into it. I really didn't. Now I've got more questions than I do answers.
That's what happens when you open a can of worms. You get more wigglers than you thought.
Oh wow! I'm gonna present this.
If this is all a simulation, I'm enjoying it. Okay.
Yeah.
It's got some interesting stuff going on in this matrix. Yeah. That's all I can say.
Well, if this is the matrix, all part of AI, I want to put my request in to become a millionaire overnight. If if the powers that be are listening, bless me, so I can bless others. So, because that's how it works. It really does. It's
spread called paying it forward. You get it, spread it around. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And apparently we can't take it with us. So
that is exactly why, William. That is exactly why you and I are not millionaires, because we would spread it around, and they don't like that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's probably true. That probably is true. Yeah, I never really even thought of it that way, to tell you the truth. I just chalked it up to dumb luck. or my own stupidity and of being a hard worker but not working hard enough to make the big money.
What did I do? What did I do?
Yeah. What's that saying? Don't work harder, work smarter. Well, I think I did the opposite. Yeah, I did the opposite.
It's very strange. It is very strange how some people can walk down through life and the money just pours into their hands without seemingly any effort. And yet some people have to work hard for the little bit that they do get. It is kind of an unfair, isn't it? And I need to talk to the Matrix guys about that. It's very unfair.
Yeah, working for me too. Yeah, that's. Oh man. Well, this has been something else talking about this.
Here's the mystery object again, folks. Okay, here's the mystery object.
Yeah.
Okay.
What are we gonna? What are we
key.
going? Let's. Okay, it's a key.
It's not the matrix key.
But a key to what?
Okay, I'm gonna give you the answer. I don't think anybody's wanting to try to guess it. This is actually a casket key. This is what they lock the casket with. I used to work.
There's kind of a morbid thought.
I used to work in the morgue, and we had a lot of these laying around. So, of course, I had one as a paperweight for my desk. But that is a casket key. And, you know, by law, they're not allowed to open a casket unless a court order. They have to have a court order. So once you lock a casket with this key, that's it. You're not supposed to open it back anymore. But I have actually been in the morgue when they had brought people up that had been under the ground for a while. And,
well, here I was gonna say, Dennis, it looked like Flash Gordon's laser gun. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it looked kind of like something he would. All right, hold it up. Right. Anyway, you find some interesting things in the morgue, but I won't elaborate on that anymore tonight.
Yeah. Well, we covered quite a bit with this Matrix thing. I mean, like I said, I've got more questions now than I do answers. You know, now I'm thinking, you know, what am I seeing? You know?
Yeah.
So,
what is reality? You know, what is reality?
Yeah. Exactly.
Is it what we make it to be, or is it in our minds, or somebody else controlling what we're seeing? So there are the questions that we need answers for, but we don't have them forthcoming, I don't think.
Think of it as a forward operating base, but as a source that could be almost as much as the hub source, limiting the AI because of the Sentinel.
Hub, huh?
Extended the capabilities, yeah. Oh, yeah. There's just I can't even fathom it right now.
I tell you what, it's a very I call brain stretching equation when you think about something like a matrix. It does that.
I like that.
And probably it's not, Stephen. Okay, it's not. But anyway, wow. It is brain stretching. It bends your mind.
Yeah, it's we're using more than the 2% of our brain, that's for sure.
If they're running a matrix, put it this way: if they're running a matrix, they're getting a lot off us tonight. Actually, with this discussion,
yeah,
they're getting some energy definitely here.
Yeah. Oh, ABC3, we got shut down. That's where we've been. Good to see you back. You have to resubscribe to the channel on YouTube. Okay.
You have to
just look for the rabbit. Yep. Just look for the rabbit in the rabbit hole under Nighthawk Eye Strangeness podcast channel, and you'll find it. Yeah, we had a little bit of controversy with YouTube. Yeah, I don't want to get into the gist of, but
we're not.
Let's just say we're
real
back.
Big. We're not real big in Hollywood anymore.
Yeah, let's just say I won't be taking any trips to California anytime soon.
Yeah, might not.
Oh, no. Yeah, I'm not going to Hollywood. That's for sure.
If there was a sheriff of Hollywood, he'd sure keep running us out of town.
Yeah, and I can't even go to the Golden Globes. Imagine that. Or the Oscars. Man, I can't even go to the Oscar.
Darn.
Man. Yeah, I agree with ABC. I agree. That 100%, my friend.
Well, a Phillips head screwdriver. Sure.
But yeah, I don't want to get into it. It's just it is what it is anymore. Um,
Yeah, but
but
evidently
for
some people have very
parody,
thin skin.
yeah.
Uh,
But we're allowed under the Fair Use Act for reasons of teaching, parody, you know, and
theory.
yeah, all
What's wrong with theory?
yeah.
Hey, you know what, William? Here, let me say this right quick, okay? And in my paranormal career, it's 55 plus years now. I've always tried to be something of a man of science. Okay, always
Mhm.
try to take things in the scientific slant. And what is science without
Exactly.
theory? What is science without
Yeah,
theory?
exactly.
I mean, and conjecture.
Exactly.
That's just ridiculous.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
we're doing a little science
Yeah.
here, and they don't want us to do any science here. Okay.
Yep. 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 Oh, Ozzy says, sorry, William and Dennis. Sorry, no awards for disclosing the truth.
Darn. We'll just have to try harder, William. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want
But
that award.
anyways, I just, yeah. It's we're back. We're back. We're
Let me
bad.
say
We're
now, William,
back,
let me ask you a question right quick. It just happened to pop up across my mind. If we got an award, who would give it to us? Who would present us the award?
my guess would be
Josh Gates. I
probably
want Josh Gates to give me my award.
no, Josh Gates would be the one standing in the corner going, "You guys are idiots."
Get him out of here. Get him out of here quick. I have actually talked with Josh Gates. He's a real nice guy, real down to earth guy. And you know what?
Anyways,
Here's the interesting thing. Well, it's my own observation, okay? The guys at the top, most of them are pretty nice. They're pretty nice down there. I've met a good many of them. It's the ones in the middle that you have to really watch out for. The middle guys, the middle men.
That's like trying to watch out for.
Nice.
What you just described, Dennis, was like trying to watch out for number one and stepping in number two.
Yeah, that's right. It's like an old saying: "Be careful who you step on your way to the top, because you might meet them coming back down."
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. It's been a riot. Just want to come on and just do a little bit of talk about the Matrix and all that, and see what everybody thought. I mean, there's so many weird things going on in this world. How can we possibly know anything about what's going on? And like I said previously, our whole lives, we are literally spoon-fed knowledge that others think that they know something. It's not knowledge that we gain ourselves. You see what I'm saying?
That's why you gotta think outside of the box.
Exactly, and that's why we got to that's why we got to question everything too. That's literally why we have to question everything. We're not gaining that knowledge ourselves. We're being taught that knowledge that somebody else has learned.
And now, can that somebody else be? Some of it's not true. That's the bad part.
Exactly. And I was just going to say that. Can that somebody else that taught us that knowledge or brought that knowledge forth to us be trusted to know that it is the truth? And it's our whole way of doing things. It's like I said in the beginning, with the whole theory, we work ourselves like dogs, okay, to earn money. And then we take said money. Here, let's do it this way. Here, hold on a second. Okay, we earn a paycheck. Okay, say this is the paycheck. We take said paycheck to said bank. Okay, or we do it electronically, direct deposit. Okay, and bank says, okay, we get to charge you this amount of money and percentage for said money that you're putting in the account or taking out of the account. Okay. Um, we need to take a certain part of this for your CD that you may have. Okay. For fees and stuff on a CD. And then you can have the rest. And then you take that said money from your bank to do what with it? To pay bills with it. Okay. You got to pay the bill. You got to pay the water, the sewer, and God knows what else, the dish network, the internet, and then you take what you have left over and you have to what? You have to spend it on groceries. You have to spend it on gas for your vehicle. You have to spend it on vehicle parts. You have to spend it on stuff for basic living needs. Now, here's the thing, okay? Keep in mind everything I just said, everybody. Keep in mind everything I just said, okay? And I'm going to show you something, all right? This is who gets your hardworking money, okay? And this is it. This is it completely, okay? This is why you are slaving away for a paycheck to have the bank give you money that is pretty much worthless, but you're giving it over to these 11 companies that own everything. Okay, in this matrix we live in. Okay.
And a large amount of them, William, a large amount of those companies are owned by the Chinese.
And, the thing of it is that the reason I'm bringing that up is because, we went from, and being Native American, I can talk about this, okay? Because we went through it too, okay? We were persecuted and killed off, okay? When you take your hard-earned money and spend it on things like I just showed you, you're giving your hard-earned money to what? The elite. The 1% of the 1%. Okay? The people that run the matrix. Okay? Not to mention slavery. That is literally the modern term of slavery. What I just mentioned was slavery, because every one of us is working for the man. Okay, slavery is not slavery. Slavery is slavery is not.
Stop working? Can you stop working and live?
Yeah, and slavery is
slave to your work.
Yeah, slavery is not just one race or two races that are being singled out. It's everybody now. Yeah, it's everybody. Because in the matrix that we're in, we are all, like I've said previously, we're all cattle. Okay? Unfortunately, we are. We are in a matrix. And
I've heard people say, "Oh, slavery is a thing of the past." No. There's more slavery in this world now than there has ever been before. There's more to it.
Well, I mean,
not only is the Chinese Communist Party have labor camps, but the Russians do, and the North Koreans, and everybody else. That's just something we don't even know about. And you talk about all these missing people. I think that's where a lot of them go to, these places, okay? They're labor camps and stuff. But we are all virtually slaves to the system.
Well, yes, and my whole point for that example is because if we're all living within the matrix, okay, we are all living for whoever's controlling the matrix. Now, consider the AI theory that we brought up earlier in the conversation to the whole money scheme, okay? And the idea, the concept of money is a scheme, okay? Now, what would AI need money for? It wouldn't. But it would want
Power.
people to it would want people to believe that they need money.
It's all
You
about
see
the
what I'm
power.
going with this? Yeah. You see where I'm going with this, though? AI is not going to be spending the almighty $20 bill or the $100 bill. No, no. But we are, in order to supply, riches to the AI that's in control, whether it's, whoever is in control, the ultimate being that's in control, we're giving over all of our hard-earned effort and physical labor, which ironically, it just dawned on me that during the days of the Anunnaki, we were built for slavery to mine gold and silver. More
It's
gold than
always been about
silver, though,
slavery.
but
It's always
yeah.
been. Oh, by the way, I was reading this the other day since we're talking about slavery. Did you know that the Roman slaves, the slaves of the Romans, and I found I had a little Roman blood in me, so I've been doing some investigation on the Romans here. Um, the Roman slaves actually had their master's name tattooed on their forehead. A lot of people don't know that. That was just like marking cattle. That was your possession.
Mm-hmm.
You marked it, whether it was a human being or not. It didn't matter. Um, so when you talk about slavery, it's always been with somebody's been somebody's slave at one time or another. Nobody has a moratorium on slavery. I don't care who you are. You do not have a moratorium on slavery.
Right.
Everybody's been somebody's slave at one time or another. That's just the way that goes. And like you said with the Anunnaki, that was what they were doing. They were mining the gold. That's what they had human beings for. That's the only reason they let them live.
Right. So my whole point. My whole point of this whole thing right now is to show that slavery really hasn't gone away. Okay, it's just
Works.
merely changed. It's changed its identity. Is all it's done.
Yeah.
It's all it's done. Slavery is still oppressing the people down, but it's oppressing all the people down, except for that elite on top.
Here's another thing, okay? Here's another thing, and I was thinking about this. I have to take some medications. You have to take medications. You know what I'm talking about. We have to pay dearly for these medications, too, by the way. But yet, we will never stop taking them. They're going to make sure we don't ever stop taking them. We're going to have to take them for the rest of that. We are slaves to our medicine. We are slaves to our health. We are slaves in so many different ways. The mind boggles to think about it. It's not just with the government. It's not just with taxes, insurance.
Yeah.
Did you know a third of my check has to go to insurance? Okay, I mean, come on, people. We're slaves to all these things, not just one thing.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Big pharma. Big pharma, Procter and Gamble, Pfizer. All of them, we're just, and yes, it goes back to that whole diagram that I showed you all, just a moment ago, with all the 11 elite, corporations that own, they own everything, to tell you the truth. So it's just we're type of slave now. It's a whole different. I guess the proper terminology would be it's a whole different format. They changed the format, like going from, like today I had to upgrade from Windows 10 to Windows 11. Why I had to do that, I have no idea. But it's like that, that's the way it's been going with the whole slavery thing. It's one upgrade to another, to another, to another. As much as they can do to mask it.
It's to make you spend more money, will you? That's all it's about. Just to make you spend more. Oh, you need to get this. You need the next iPhone that's coming out.
Yeah.
And they will kill the other iPhones to make you buy that new iPhone. Okay? That's not bad. That's not right. But that is unsavory business practice. But that is the way it's practiced now. That's the way business goes nowadays.
Yeah.
So they're
Yeah.
forcing us into chutes like cattle. You have cattle chutes that force you to go where they're forcing us the way they want us to go. That's the way you do slavery.
Yep. Yeah. I just think, it is this conversation can go so many other directions too with the whole Matrix thing too, that, you know, I don't know. It's just some of this is just so far there that it's so far out there that it makes sense. And other bits and pieces of it are just like you're questioning yourself, you know, why or how could I ever think that that was part of the Matrix theory? It's just something that we're not gonna be able until the answers is given to us. You know, and the answer could be right in front of us every time we're outside or every time we have a thought process. The answer could be right there in front of us, and we just don't see it. You know, so
Or we're not
but
programmed to see it.
yeah. Yeah, that's the whole. That there you go. You opened up another, you know, another
Program.
wormhole on the Matrix.
Another can of worms. There you
Oh,
go.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I can't say the P word, but yeah, definitely. I wouldn't want to have to pay for an iPhone. I wouldn't be able to pay for an iPhone anyways because I'm just poor.
Here's the
So,
interesting thing, William, and I'm not going to say that word either, but it's an interesting thing that you are forced into taking and doing things nowadays that you didn't really want to do uh,
yeah.
because it's become a social kind of thing to do, or you're shamed into doing it.
Mhm.
I see that happening with our school systems nationwide. I see that happening in many aspects with our politics, our educational
Well, we can't
system,
get
our
into the
media.
politics in the schools. We can't get
They're
into the
shaming
politics in the
people.
schools. We
I'm
can't get
not,
it.
but
Yeah.
I'm just saying they're shaming people into doing things. I was reading an article the other day about this woman that said about her being a little overweight and she was being shamed by her boss on account of it and all that. So if you don't look the right way, if you don't walk the right way, if you don't act the right way, you're being shamed and segregated out because of it. That's not good either. And if you don't take a certain medication or do a certain thing, then you're shamed for it or you're penalized for it. That's not right either. But that is another form of how you manage slaves. Okay, that's how you manage slaves.
Yeah. Yeah. This is true. This is true. Well, we've covered a lot, and I'm going to end it with know, as far as theory and conjecture goes. I mean, we are going to have a lot more questions sometimes than we are going to have answers, and that's the whole purpose of these conversations, um, to find out the answers and to try to help solve some of the mysteries that we are confronted with every day of our lives, and just try to get through the muck and the wallows of the dredge of every day, bearing down upon us. And sometimes just talking about stuff like this is good just to get it off the chest. But
Good for the
it's
soul.
best that we do it in a manner that well, like teaching them, and I didn't want to get into any parody tonight because of God forbid I do that or any criticism. Um, but it is what it is. I mean, we have to question everything. I couldn't be true to myself and to my family and to my friends if I didn't question everything. You know what I mean? To a point. You have to. That what makes human, whether we're in the matrix or not, that's just the way it is. So on that note, I want to thank everybody for being here. It's been a great conversation for the last hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes. And we'll see you all in the morning. Dennis, what do you think about the subject of starting off with dragons tomorrow?
Oh, one of my favorites.
Okay. All right, folks, you heard it here first. In the morning at 10 a.m. on the Paranormal Weekend Morning Brew Show, Saturday edition, we will be opening the subject of dragons, and we'll see from where we go. Okay? So I want to bid you all a good night. Get a good night's rest. You'll need it. Get a cup of coffee in the morning and give us pull up a chair and join us in the morning chat. Okay, everybody? So we will see you all in the morning at 10 a.m. Have a good night, everybody. And question everything. Thought I wouldn't say that, huh?